AI and Xbox are going to be something to look at going forward into the future. They just announced the Xbox Muse thing, which has a lot of pushback from developers. They are completely against it. And you can argue why they would be against this. They don't want to lose jobs, all of that stuff. And they don't want their creativity to be taken over by AI, which I would say if AI is not used properly, it could make games worse, but there's definitely things that it could help. Well, we have more information here, some more devs in Microsoft who have commented on this anonymously because they believe it could hurt their career if they come out and say who they are. We also have information about when the next games from Xbox are landing on the PlayStation 5. This all comes via The Verge and Tom Warren's Notepad, which is a paywalled article that I'm looking at here. And there is some interesting stuff here, stuff that you may want to be interested in, know about if you are thinking about how Xbox Muse is going to affect the future of gaming. So we did get the announcement last week about Muse, which is the new AI model that generates gameplay. And Microsoft presented it in a way where they were using Bleeding Edge, and they've put in all of this work into being able to replicate players' actions and things like that, and get AI to create gameplay loops and stuff and physics and understand a 3D world, which in and of itself as a technology is pretty interesting. But there are a lot of people that's spoken out against this. And we have this here, Tom Warren saying he's been speaking to game developers over the past week to get a better understanding of the response to Muse. And of the handful he says he's spoken to, no one is willing to speak on record for reasons like career concerns and the potential impact of speaking out that might have on game deals with Xbox. But most people here are echoing David Goldfarb, who is a developer and the founder of The Outsiders, who posted on X last week, F this shit. So he expands on his response here with an interview with Wired and says, when we rely on this stuff, we are implicitly empowering a class of people who own these tools and don't give a F about how they reshape our lives. And these concerns have been echoed across multiple game developers with the acceptance of the AI tools. They say that their growing fear in the game industry right now is that AI will replace human creators, and it's not a baseless fear either. Almost half, so 49% of the 3,000 respondents to a Game Developer Conference 2024 survey had said that generative AI tools are currently being used in their workplace, with 31% saying they personally use them. And in an industry that's already struggling with costs and layoffs, the anxiety over AI replacing jobs is high too. And it is definitely being used. You can go on to Steam and they tell you what games have AI in it. We just also heard last week that Steam database now allows you to click the tags to have a curation of games that use AI. And I believe there was like 4,900 games or something within the Steam database that is currently using AI in some way or shape or form within the game itself. And the anxiety of AI replacing jobs, definitely something that makes sense. However, I sit back and I look at the games industry right now, and people are losing their jobs left and right. I mean, there are studios being completely closed down. Monolith just got closed down. The reasoning behind this is because they need to make more money. It's too expensive to develop games. They have to increase their profits and everything to appease the shareholders and stockholders of all of these companies. And one way I think they will be able to do this is through AI. So regardless of AI, people are losing their jobs. AI could potentially come in here and make games cost less to create, and then going forward, make the game development more sustainable so that we don't continuously see all of this job loss. I think if you look at it like that, it may be something that makes a bit more sense, but nobody really is looking at it like that at all. Everyone is just looking at it, or at least on the developer side, that how it's going to directly affect them right now, even though developers are losing their jobs everywhere. So that part is kind of interesting. And I wonder if there will be more job loss with AI or less once it does stabilize and it's integrated in doing things that make games cheaper to make. I don't want AI going in there at all and taking over the creative aspects in game development. We should always have the human side doing that, because I don't think AI will be able to recreate what humans creatively come up with. But if it can take away the tasks of just kind of the busy work in games, that will reduce costs and I think stabilize game development going forward, where maybe we see less layoffs in the long run rather than right now, where the companies they're just kind of having to make things stable, and we will continue to see layoffs through 2025. I could be wrong on that. That's just kind of the way I see it in terms of trying to look at AI in the positive aspect if it is used responsibly, but who knows, right? Because the big companies out there may go further than they need to with the implementation of AI. Now, when it comes to Muse, it says here, some developers are hoping that models like Muse will be limited to the early stages of game development, where you could use an AI model to create some rough gameplay instead of sketching out ideas and concepts, which even then, I think like humans should be sketching out those ideas and concepts. The AI should be implemented here to take away a lot of the busy work within game development and just make it easier to do and reduce the amount of time it takes to develop an entire game. Microsoft is also, right now, they are releasing AI generated games in Copilot Labs. Now, to get access to this requires a monthly fee of $20 subscription for Copilot Pro. I don't believe any of these games will be coming out for people to actually just try it to the public. They're just kind of using it, I think, as test cases and showing how it can work. And what else is interesting is that they've had AI sessions in town halls. They're showing mini games that they have created. And they say here that many of Microsoft's AI sessions at GDC will be future looking. And there are a couple from Blizzard that will detail how World of Warcraft developers use AI models to automate 3D armor fitting, or how developers parse through player feedback using large language models. And it shows the potential for AI tools to assist developers rather than replace them. So they're likely to be far less controversial than the AI model that generates gameplay. That is where AI does come in. And Xbox will be at GDC. There could be a lot of stuff happening at GDC from Xbox. We've seen that they're going to be talking more about the Xbox. Everything is an Xbox campaign and the Xbox Play Anywhere stuff. So will they be showing off more handhelds? Will they be showing off how AI helps game development to optimize these games for less powerful devices, which I think would be huge. And then the other thing would be maybe they'll show off and talk more about the game preservation side of AI, which will be another positive aspect to this. But with the thing that's going on at Blizzard and World of Warcraft, that's where I think it could be definitely helpful with reducing costs and, like they say, be less controversial with the use of AI. In fact, Dom Matthews and Ninja Theory, they were part of this whole presentation of this Muse AI, and they say here that they don't intend to use the technology for the creation of content, which is a good thing. I mean, you look at Hellblade 2, that alone is a technical marvel in and of itself, whether you're a fan of the game or not, but graphically, what they were able to do artistically with that game was all done with humans. I mean, it couldn't have been done without humans. We saw leading up videos to this game where they were going and scanning real world places and then putting it into the game. It was very, very cool what was done there. So all that needs to continue in game development to push it forward. I don't know. AI is going to be controversial, and we will continue to talk about it because it is moving fast here, and a lot of companies are partaking in it. I mean, there's a lot more than we even know about that use AI within their games. And again, go check out the Steam database. The other thing that's interesting from this Notepad article is the announcement or the speculation as to when games will be releasing on PS5 and potentially Gears of War E-Day. We know Fable has been delayed until 2026, so you would think there's going to be something in its slot. They're not going to go through the end of this year and not have a big game to launch for Xbox Game Pass. So will it be Gears of War E-Day? Well, it does say here in the article that the question now is whether Microsoft is still targeting a 2025 release for Gears of War E-Day, like I'd heard last year. So Tom Warren has heard that Gears E-Day is coming out this year, and now with Fable being moved to 2026, could that really be the case? It does kind of seem like that. I mean, that would be crazy if this is the game that comes out in 2025 and then you get Fable earlier in 2026. And then when it comes to Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, we know this is coming out on PS5, and it says here that Microsoft is going to be targeting an April release date on the PlayStation 5. So PlayStation gamers could be getting Indiana Jones and Forza Horizon 5 all within a singular month from games made by Xbox Game Studios. And I think both those games are going to do very well. I mean, Forza Horizon 5 will be at the top of the charts. Indiana Jones will do decent for a single player game, but they're going to be raking in a lot of cash from that platform, which will be used to put more games in Game Pass and continue to develop their first party content. Well, on the video there, guys, let me know what you think about all this. If you did enjoy the video, hit the thumbs up. If you're new here, hit the subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.